All right, so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the ones that say they are not picky when it comes to their wedding.
And like, we're not just talking about like their wedding dresses, we're talking about hair, makeup,
Pretty much anything.
communication leading up to, because it's even like, I'm not picky or I'm so easy.
I'm so easy. I'm so laid back.
I'm so laid back. Really means the opposite, right? Not all the time.
I would say, on average, 7 out of 10 times.
It means the opposite.
It means the opposite. And I know, even when I'm talking to someone, if I'm doing their makeup, and, you know, everybody could see the memes and the reels on Instagram about it, when people are like, when someone says they're not picky, and then when you show them the mirror when they're done. And it's laughable because it literally kills me.
And you also have to
how accurate it is.
You have to laugh just so you don't like scream. Because it's like, I don't wear a lot of makeup. Just as an example, right? Like someone say, I don't wear a lot of makeup. I'm pretty much good with whatever you do. Okay, cool. And then you show them the mirror and they're like, oh, it's definitely
different.
It's different. It's different. It's different than what I normally wear. And I'm like, well, I thought you said you don't wear any makeup. So how, of course it's going to be different if you don't wear makeup. Or it's like, I normally don't do highlight, or I normally don't do this, or I normally don't do that. And I'm like, okay. So for myself, I tell you this all the time, like I find a lot of times it's easier to ask somebody what they don't like, because people are have an easier time communicating. Like, I don't like this, I don't like red lips, I don't like dark eyebrows, I don't like looking too tan. And if you stay away from those things, 9 times out of 10 you're
I love looking extra tan.
Well, that's a bad example, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just like an example of something that someone may say.
We always say to it, the most important is your consultation. So when you first get to meet somebody, you want to ask them those questions. So you're setting it up for a positive experience as opposed to putting yourself in a rough spot.
Or stressful. You don't want to be stressful.
You don't want to feel like...
It should be stressful for us.
And you could feel their body language, their energy, everything shift.
It shouldn't be stressful for anybody. It shouldn't make it like a tense thing leading up to...
It's so fun.
Even your trial. Your trial should be fun.
And we covered that on our episode about bridal trials.
Important. You know, it should be a fun thing. And when you say to somebody that you're not picky, like, I think that sometimes people think they're not. I don't think they're like trying to pull one over.
They have the best intentions not to be picky.
I don't think you're trying to pull one over and be like, I'm not picky, and then I'm really going to be picky. I mean, at least I hope not. But I just think that they're not aware that they actually are. Or, you know, sometimes I think it could be nerves, and that's different, because someone will say like, I'm just nervous to wear makeup because I normally don't. And I'm like, well, listen, I'm super easy. No matter what, after I'm done, if you want to change something, I'll tweak it for you. And I always say, like, I don't care if everybody else loves it. You're the one that has to wear it. I want you to love it. So, but that's different than if someone wants to like hold a mirror the whole time and they're kind of like, oh, what is that?
But I think that's a good point, because when we're at our salon at the Beauty Boys, we are doing hair and makeup in front of a mirror all day long.
Yes.
So if somebody would have asked me to do that 10 years ago in my career, I would have fainted.
Yeah.
I would have never been able to handle the pressure of having to do it in front of the mirror and having somebody watch the entire process.
Definitely.
As opposed to, we've all heard this, like, you just have to trust the process in anything. And it really is super important in choosing your vendor and choosing people that are going to be there with you that day, is you want to be able to trust them and know that it's just going to be handled flawlessly, because that's where things really do get lost.
Yeah.
And you don't want that stress.
Yeah. I think also too, like, you have to manage your expectations, you know, like,
oh yes,
especially with hair and makeup, or,
yes,
you know, because if you are not open to, say, getting clip-in hair extensions, but
which everyone needs more hair.
Yeah, whether you have long hair, you might need more hair. Whether you have short hair, maybe you need longer hair for the style. Not that you need it for your wedding day, like that you have to get married with long hair, any type of a way. But if you show somebody an inspiration that is
A mannequin.
a mannequin or somebody that has like a
And I love a good mannequin. You know, my girl Lauren's hanging out with me all the time.
your actual mannequin,
My
Lauren.
actual mannequin.
But if something has a lot of hair extensions in it, like it's not a matter of like being picky or not. Like I'm just trying to tell you to get to that expectation,
To achieve
you're
the
gonna
look.
need to have more hair. Like, or you're gonna have to be open to doing some clip-ins, or, you know, even with makeup. Like if someone says like, I really love, you know, a heavy eye, but I don't really want to wear a lot of face makeup. Okay.
Or if they love a heavy eye, but they want to wear a lot of concealer underneath.
Yeah, so like white it out because that's become so
Trendy.
I know, but like, is that like, I know, I feel like trendy is like, I do think that there's a difference between trendy and something trending,
I think there is a difference.
right? Because
Definitely.
I feel like if, like, especially like before social was so, is like what it is now. Like if you said to someone, like if I said to you, you're so trendy, like it would be like a compliment because it'd be like, you can like set trends, you have your own style, you have your own aesthetic, you know what I mean?
Love it. Keep going.
Right? All true. But if something is
did.
trending, now that means everyone's doing this.
It's popular.
On social media.
Yes, you're
Or
on
people
brand.
are sharing it over and over again. So it's trending. Like, that's not the same thing as like setting a trend. That's just something that is grabbing a lot of people's attention
But
for a
I
minute.
also think to that point, things that are trendy can be trending.
100%.
Especially with hair color. Like, for example, right now, everyone's doing a teddy bear brunette. And
But like,
it's
what does
trendy.
that even mean? Like, what does that mean? A teddy bear brunette?
It's gorgeous.
Does
It's
it mean
real.
a hair color that looks like a brown teddy bear?
Well, when I'm sending people that inspiration, I always send the teddy bear emoji.
Are you not so clear now on what that means? So if you ask for a teddy bear hair, that means you're getting a teddy bear emoji.
No.
Like, what does that even mean? Explain, please explain. Please.
I feel like I can't. It's so true, though.
Try.
You guys know I love my emojis. But it is pretty much just more dimensional, more contrast, and something that is super high maintenance. For example, highlights to the root, right?
Right.
As it grows in, your roots are growing in a hard line.
Mhm.
If you're not shadowing it, if you're not tapping the root, that's how it's going to grow in.
Right.
To get a teddy bear brunette, you're really doing a reverse balayage.
Lowlights.
So you're doing a base color, whether it's with a glaze or with a permanent hair color.
Okay.
And then you're adding in lowlights and breaking up your highlights that you put in there.
Okay.
And then adding the dimension back in with the lowlight, and you're glazing it all together. But this is what me and you were talking about.
Pause. But if anybody else is wondering, where is the bear?
Oh my god.
Which
The
is
bear is because the tone is like a beigey warm tone. So back to what we were saying about something trendy versus trending.
Okay.
Having gray white hair was trendy
Right.
a few years ago.
And trending.
And trending.
Right.
And now that's neither.
Mm.
I feel like
It's phased
majority
out.
of the
It's
people.
phasing out.
I'm not saying that it's not trendy. Like if somebody has it, I'm not going to be like,
100%.
oh my god,
No,
ew.
100%.
I still think it's beautiful.
See, but now, if someone had that gray hair or that whitish blonde platinum gray, it would be more of their trend versus it's still trending because it's
It
not
would be a
trending
trend.
anymore. It's their personal
Correct.
trend. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference. But still, the teddy bear hair,
Because it has warm beigey blonde tones.
like a teddy bear,
Like a teddy bear, where you still get browns, honeys, caramels, beige,
I just
pops
feel
of
like
bright
all
blonde in
those
there. And I've done a
things-
bunch over the past 3 weeks.
I've heard you talking about it in the salon.
The
teddy
girls
bears
love
this
it.
and that.
Teddy bear.
And what is the other one? Blonde.
Blonde, brown blonde.
Like you just can't say you're making your blonde darker.
No, people hate that. Because no one wants to hear, a true blonde doesn't want to hear that she's making her hair dark.
I find you sold me on that one. Still not sold on the teddy bear. And like I feel like they're all just different names for things that have been around forever. Like
It is back
the-
to things that are trendy versus trending.
Okay, fine, enough with that. But the wolf, like the wolf haircut, that's a shag.
Mullet.
mullet. It's a shag. But
It
people
is.
are calling it. What's the other one?
You always say that. I love the butterfly
The
haircut.
butterfly haircut, but what is it really?
It's like a
layered haircut.
modern, layered, shaggy haircut.
Right. They're all just like,
Different names.
yeah, to like change. Okay, but to that point, if someone who is picky, that you know is your client, that you do their hair, and they come into the salon and they say, and they're normally a blonde, like a heavy highlight blonde.
This is a new client or existing?
No, I said someone that
I'm
you
just
do their
following.
hair. So you know their whole situation. You know they're normally a blonde, variations of blonde, highlights, balyages, whatever, but still blonde. And they come in and they say, and they're very particular about their blondes. And they come in and they say like, oh, I heard there's this like teddy bear color thing going on. Like, I want to do that. What do you say?
I'm doing it. Let's go.
Right away?
I
Even if
want to.
knowing they're picky?
Well, this just happened to me.
Okay, so what did you say?
I waited over the span of 2 appointments. Like how me and you always say, even when people want to cut their hair short, you have to convince us over 2 appointments.
Well, that's totally, color's somewhat reversible. If you tell me you want to cut your hair short, I need at least 2 appointments in a row where you say that before I believe you.
Yes.
But go ahead.
But with hair color, if they're not changing their base color,
Right,
meaning your natural hair color,
right.
unless you get it covered for gray, I will suggest glazing it or shadowing their root with the glaze, which is semi-permanent, demi-permanent.
So not like a full commitment.
Not a full
permanent,
commitment.
okay.
It's easy to transition back blonde.
Right.
And I will show them options and variations of what their hair color will look like getting back to where they are at start. Getting back to their starting point now.
Okay.
Just so they know and I know that they agreed to each step of the way.
Okay. I have another question. How do you feel about, because this happens a lot, and I think especially because of the apps they have now, how do you feel about when somebody comes in with a picture of themselves, but they used an app to make their hair a different color?
It's
And
not realistic.
You don't feel like it's realistic?
Go on Amazon and buy a wig for $20.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Well, sometimes
Go to the beauty supply.
Sometimes I think it is a little bit, because there's ones where I've noticed where people have shown me and it's actually the same picture and the hair is actually just a different color and it looks like their same hair and everything.
Okay, I've seen that.
But then I've seen ones where it's not even the same person, whether it's like an AI image.
Those kill me, by the way.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up, because I feel like those images set people up for failure. Because even I have been in the position where I have gotten the hair the exact same color. And I very rarely say that, where I'm like, no, that looks exactly
That's
like
the
that
AI.
picture. And I knew it was AI. And I still was able to make the color look exactly like it did in that
Okay.
picture. But because said picture made the person's whole aesthetic look completely different, down to younger, you name it, everything looked different. So I felt like no matter what I did to the hair to get it to look like that, they were still underwhelmed because they were expecting that whole picture.
I think that is fair.
And I was like, this is
don't
bullshit.
you? I feel like me and you do this. Like, I will tell people, cover the face. Like, let's say it's Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Kim Kardashian. Cover their face if you're showing me their hair.
Right.
And do you still like the way the hair looks without seeing their beautiful face?
Oh. Well,
Or
yeah,
even their body or anything, their clothes.
just like a whole, because of the aesthetic of like the way
Because,
they
like you
look
were
and
saying, it's
way
the
they put
aesthetic
it
of the
together.
picture people love. Even
Right.
the AI one.
Right.
Because
So I
even if
feel
it
like
gives you
that's-
long, beautiful hair or short little bob, cover the face and see if you really still like
But
it.
I feel like sometimes the people that are a little bit more like nervous about changing things are the ones that will tend to look at those pictures that make them
Yes.
now feel comfortable to be like, oh, I've always wanted to do this, but now I want to because I like the way it looks here.
But me and you always say too that if you show us a picture and someone has very big hair and it's textured, it's wavy, and if you don't even know how to blow out your own hair or use a curling iron, you're either gonna have to A, learn,
Right.
or B, book weekly blowouts.
Right.
Somewhere to get your hair to look like the inspo pic that you have.
Right. I know that may sound crazy to some people, but if you really think about like what we sometimes spend at like Starbucks and coffee shops and DoorDash and all these different things, it's not that unrealistic to be able to work in a weekly blowout for yourself.
Oh, totally.
Because and I'm not even saying just like coming to us, like there's dry bars, there's all different things that make it easy for you to like kind of maintain your hair if it's like hard for you to do on your own. And it does make you just feel like it's just one
Unless
thing you
you're
don't
very
have to think
picky.
about. Well, yeah,
Besides the
but no,
point.
I think even more so. But, you know, sometimes people can't go that, you know, I'm not saying you only wash your hair once a week. Some people can, but if you can't, but at least if you get yourself a day or two or three that you don't have to think about it, or it actually feels like when you get it done at the salon, you really would, it makes such a difference.
Game changer.
It really is such a game
It
changer.
really is.
Especially like if you have extensions. They're
Oh, well,
harder to
that's
manage, and a
going
lot of
without
people
being
feel like they
said.
can only get them blown out if, you know, somebody does it for them. But the bottom line is, I feel like sometimes when people say they aren't picky or they're going to be super laid back, especially if you're in our industry or in any kind of industry that services people, you know it really can be a little bit of a red flag that it might be the opposite. Right?
I feel like it is a red flag.
You feel like it is a red flag. I hear you, but you just have to know how to approach
Proceed
it.
with caution.
Proceed with caution. It doesn't mean that
Yes.
you can't serve them as a client or
No,
have them
no,
as
no.
a bride or whatever the case may be. But you know, and I think we often sometimes make people aware. I'll like, you know, I'll point out to them like, you know, you had said that you didn't want a lot of eyeliner and you didn't want a heavy eyelash and you don't like a lot of bronzer and you don't want to wear foundation and you don't like lip color.
Or the
So
opposite. They request
we
all of
aren't
that.
left with a lot of options. You know, so like, what is it that you want me to do?
No,
No,
I
seriously, you know what I mean? Like, I have a very small, you know, like there's not a whole lot to work with there. And sometimes those people may be the ones that are better off doing their own makeup because I don't want to make you hate it and I don't want to try and convince you. Like, I know I did what I was supposed to do, but I don't want to try and convince you that you like it if you would have just felt more comfortable blowing out your own hair real quick or doing your own, you know. And that's not to say that there's certain things that we're always open, especially when we're dealing with a bride. If I love the way a bride or a client of mine knows how to do their mascara
Their
or
lip liner.
line their lips, you know, my mom lines her lips like really beautiful. Like, I always let them do it. You'll see some of the most biggest celebrity hair makeup teams in the world that on their social media teams, I'll see
J-Lo
like
does her own mascara.
J-Lo lining her lips, putting on her mascara. Kim Kardashian on the ends of like finishing
Something.
up. They know how to like do that. And if sometimes like a client may know how to do that better than you can, and they're the ones that are definitely going to be
Don't take it
picky.
personal.
Yeah, don't take it personal because they're going to know how to do it and make them feel comfortable, as if you try and convince them. The eyebrows is another big one. You know,
Huge,
people will
huge.
say, do you mind if I do my own eyebrows? Now, the only thing that's tricky about that is I genuinely have to feel like you can do them better than I can for me to be
Yes.
okay with that.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean? Because if people, my cousin's wife, Francesca, she's beautiful.
Shout out Francesca,
Love
you were
girl.
gorgeous.
She has beautiful eyebrows, and she told me she was going to do them the day of her wedding. And I've seen the way she wears them, so I was like, oh yeah, definitely. Like, you wear them pretty fluffy and natural. But then when I saw her do them, like when she really does them, I was
know,
like,
it's beautiful.
oh, she can really do her eyebrow like well. And I didn't even touch it. Because other times I'll say it's fine, and then I'll still like kind of like clean up.
course.
I was like, I'm just brushing it, and I'll clean up around it. But let people do, you know, let your client do your own thing a little bit if it's going to help you out, and they're not.
And it lets them feel like they have a little personal touch.
100%, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, me neither.
You know, like I really.
And I've
don't.
seen some pretty like iconic pictures of brides touching themselves up in the mirror. Whether it's, I feel like the ones that I love the most are the ones that are actually doing it.
Yeah. And
When
not
you-
just faking it. You
Yes.
mean? Yeah, like on The Bachelor when they're The Bachelor.
Oh my God! Sidebar, but
I know.
the Golden
know.
Bachelorette, love her girl, but
She
Joan,
didn't
you were not even putting your blush on.
Girl, you weren't even touching your face with
You were
the makeup
floating. It was
blush.
floating.
floating. And for brides
Not even making
too,
contact with your
If you're
cheek.
going to simulate a picture that's a touch
The brush
up,
can touch your face.
touch your face. It's not going to ruin everything. Like, And
Yes.
a lot of times those pictures aren't in real time because either by that time, like, you know, you've already had your makeup done or your hair done or whatever, or if someone's filming you for something to make it look like you're doing your own makeup, touch your face, touch
Yeah,
the
for real.
liner of
We're not gonna ruin
to
it.
your lip. Like, don't just completely float around your face because it kind of just like takes away from the effect. But everybody knows you're not doing anything. And then it really looks fake, right?
No, it's true, and it just looks more genuine when you're really doing it.
Yeah, like really do it. Add a little blush. She's always like, oh, I've never seen you do a fake touch up where you weren't adding more makeup.
Just so you all know, I never do a fake touch up. Even if Matthew did the makeup or if I did the makeup, I am always adding more.
He's like, I added more blush. I'm like, yeah, I can tell.
Because when you think you're done, a rule of thumb is always add more of everything.
One more layer.
One more layer of everything.
But I feel like that's changed the way I've done makeup even.
Because it's so
Because
important.
it looks different. And if I've taken pictures of like trials and then done one and looked at it, but like read a little like lighter than in person, then I would go like over it one more time with like a little more cheek and a little bit more of like a bronzer contour. And it really does. Even bronzer just washed into the crease over your eyeshadow finished look, just to like.
Oh, I would say that's a great like everyday look too. Even
in here, but even to add to eyeshadow, just to add more structure. Because I feel like that's one of the biggest things. Like when you look at a picture and they're like, "Why doesn't it look like that?" It's because there's a lot of layers of structure to make it.
Layers.
But it doesn't have to feel that way. That's the biggest thing.
I know we spoke about that.
It does not have to feel that way. Just because it's a lot of makeup, it shouldn't feel that way.
But yeah, keep adding.
Keep adding. And then this one says keep adding.
Keep adding to it. Stop being picky. No, I'm kidding.
No.
But
if you're going to be like, if you say you're not picky, then, or how about this? Just don't say it. If you didn't say you weren't picky, I don't have an expectation of somebody that's very low key.
What about this? Like, I always say, like, me personally, I'm very particular.
But is that a nice way of saying picky? Like, I think that's a nice way.
I'm just, shit. Yeah. I'm being honest, though.
But that's
I would say I'm very particular. I'm not picky.
I mean,
guys, maybe I'm a little picky.
Only because I know you, I would say that there is a difference for you, that particular and picky or not. But I think most people...
You want to give me an example? Oh, no, you don't have to.
But I feel like most people, when they say that, they don't realize they mean the same thing. But I know that you're more...
I think it depends on the situation.
I can actually give you an example. You're not picky with food.
No.
Like, you will try a lot of different foods.
And you're very picky with food.
And I'm picky with food, and you'll eat a broader, like, spectrum of foods.
Okay.
Right? But you're particular about how things are presented. If fish still have eyes. You know what I mean?
I can't, you guys.
Is that not true?
I don't want to see the fish with the eyes in it.
That's just because he had a Bronzino served to him once. First of all, I don't eat any of that stuff.
I can't.
So when he orders it, I'm always like mesmerized just to see what's coming out because I don't even know what to expect.
I almost collapsed and I was sitting down.
So when he said Bronzino, I thought... I don't know what I thought it was, but I didn't even think it was fish. I thought it was going to be like some Italian pasta dish, like Bronzino. Like, I'm like, oh, this is...
You were thinking I was getting like fettuccine Alfredo.
Yes. That's exactly what I thought.
With broccoli rabe.
Basically. Okay, so that's what so you know me so well. So I'm picturing something like this. And then they put on the table, and they shall remain nameless because it has nothing to do with this place, and I love their food. He ordered it. And they put it on the table, and it was...
I feel like it had scales, a face, everything.
It looked like from the sea.
I'm still sick over it. I'm still sick over it.
I was like, is this a mistake? And he's like, it's not supposed to have the eyes. And I'm like, what? And he's like, it's not supposed to have eyes. And I'm like, is that the problem? Did you eat that?
I ate it.
You did eat that?
I did not eat the eyes, the scales, none of that shit, but...
Another time, because it's just so relevant to this now.
Of me being picky?
No. I guess this would be unpicky example, because I would have never ordered this. You ordered linguine with, what did it say? It didn't say what it was.
Yes, it did.
It didn't, because it didn't say...
It said it in Italian.
Oh. Okay, so it said in another language, Italian, that
it was squid
pasta
ink.
with squid ink.
And I did not expect jet black spaghetti to come out.
And here we are again. Because once again, I'm sitting across from him with my steak. Like, is that a mistake? Like, did you know you were getting that? What is that? And he's telling me, he's like, stop. He's like, just don't. Just don't. Because you knew what. Then I think you realized what it was.
I read it.
You read it.
And I was like, oh shit, this is what people talk about when they mean this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was black spaghetti. Like black. No,
it was
like
like
regular spaghetti, but covered in black ink. It looked like you spilled the pen all over it. It was gross.
It reminded me of, like, you know, in Finding Nemo, when that little when that little thing's like, I'm gonna ink. Is that what it says?
I think that's what it is.
It is. That's why I was so freaked out.
Sick. But you ate it. Did you like that?
Okay, so I did not mind it.
Which was worse, that or the Bronzino?
Oh, Bronzino, 100%.
100%.
But, yeah, no. Oh my God, I'm so
I know,
sick over
you actually
it.
look a little faint.
Is it these lights? No.
Yeah.
See, guys, I need more bronzer then. Come on there. Gotta get my bag. But...
No, but...
Being picky and being particular, I think, are two different things.
Yes, that's the point.
But they're in the same realm.
They're in the same wheelhouse, that's for sure.
Yeah, same realm.
I don't think that I could say that about myself. I feel like for me, I'm particular, I'm picky, they're both the same for me.
I think that's true.
But I think I've gotten much better. Like, if you tell me, try this, I trust you and I know that I will, like, most of the time I like it.
I'm also not one of those people that's just going to make you try it.
No, because there's certain things that I've been like, oh, that looks cool. Like, what is that? And you'll be like, you're not going to eat this. And I'd be like, oh, I'm not. I don't want that. But I've tried, like, lobster tails, and I love them now. And
lamb chops.
Lamb chops, but that's really because of your grandma.
I know.
She makes a lamb chop like nobody's business.
It's true, girl.
And then I ask her, like, what did you stuff them with? And she's always like, oh, Zali, I don't know. Really, it's whatever. And I'm always like, but this is why I don't cook. Because when I ask people, especially Italian people in my family, like,
they don't measure.
How did you make this? They say whatever. Or they say it's nothing.
Or I just threw a few things together.
That's only a handful. And I'm like, what? So none of it I understand, and that's why I don't cook. But
no, maybe one day we're going to have to cook on here.
Your grandma makes a mean lamb chop.
I can.
She really does. I feel like maybe I want lamb chops today.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
Being picky or particular.
Well, now that my non-picky ass is going to eat lamb chops, that's what I'm going to do.
But stay true to yourself with that. Make sure you're doing everything for you, not you.
Not for the makeup artist, not for the hairstylist, not for the bride, not for your parents. You have to be happy. And if you are picky, it's fine, but it's all in delivery. And I'm always open to listen to somebody as long as I don't feel like they're coming at me personally. Like, if you were just telling me something that I can look at and understand and be like, listen, I thought I wanted a winged eyeliner, but now that it's on, it's too much for me. Yes, I might be screaming on the inside, but I'm not going to yell at you. But if you make me feel like it's my fault because I put on what you asked me for, I'm going to make sure that you know that that's not fair. Like, it's not fair. Putting it nicely, like, that's not fair. You know, so it's all in your delivery. Come at people with kindness, and you will get so much more from them.
What do they say? You get more with sugar than honey?
Yes. My friend,
No, than vinegar? Well, I don't even know. I'm the worst. I'm the worst with these expressions.
He combines, like, different expressions that are not, like, he'll be like, it's, you know what they say, a bird in the bush is worth 3 hands. And you're like, what?
No, I don't know that
I'm just as an example, but you know what I mean?
No.
But my friend Lee always says to me, like, about me in particular, she's like, you could get anything from him if you approach him through his heart. She's like, but if you approach him like you're entitled or like put my back up against the wall,
he doesn't respond well to that.
I'm coming out swinging.
No, I know.
For real.
I know.
But no, that's it, really. That's it, right? What do you say?
Yeah,
I'm like, well, you made like you were going to say something.
I was laughing at you.
Okay,
I'm still dying at you over there.
That's all we got.
This little cougar.
I hope you guys keep coming back, and I hope you guys are having as much fun as we are.
Yes, we'll see you next week. Ciao.
Bye.